Okay, let's go over the second half of drawing the generic person. Last time we were together, we did the eyes and we did the nose. Now we're going to move on to the mouth. Your mouth is about 1/3 of the way between your nose and your chin. You can use your pencil to measure, kind of estimate the distance using the end and your finger, and then kind of bring it down and see if you have it correct and adjust it as you need to. Okay, I'm going to look at mine and adjust it if I feel like I need to. Should be a little bit lower. That's probably about right. Now, the mouth. We kind of have a stereotypical way in which we sometimes draw the mouth. It looks like this. Let's do it over here since I have enough more room. Okay. The problem with this mouth is that it always makes your person look like they're wearing lipstick. The reason is because this mouth makes it look like the top line and the bottom line are just as important as the line that opens and closes. The truth is, if you look at people's mouths, it's not that distinct. The line that divides the mouth in half is much stronger than the line at the top and the line at the bottom. So it looks here like you've drawn the lips on, which is typically kind of what we think of when we think of lipstick. Now, to do a better mouth, we want to avoid this stereotype. Okay? We know that the middle of the mouth is important, that line that opens and closes, and it's about 2 eyes wide. So drawing down from the middle of the eye, both eyes, that's how wide the mouth is going to be. Now that looks wider than normal, or looks wider than we typically draw it, I think because we don't want it to look like our person has a big mouth, so we make them smaller. The middle line has a bit of a curve to it. It's certainly not a straight line like this. And a natural smile tends to bend down the middle and come up a little bit where your lips meet your cheeks. To draw that, I'm going to suggest that you do something like this. Okay? Take a minute to draw that. Adjust it if you need to so that it looks good. I like to widen the line a little bit at the ends, the edges. I think it looks a little bit more natural that way. Now, you might think that this mouth looks a little bit unusual, and I agree. It does look a little bit unusual. You might not be able to figure out what's strange about it, but what looks like is happening here is it looks almost as if our person is biting their bottom lip. Like they're going like that. Now you probably see it, even if you weren't seeing it before. That's because the second most prominent part of your lips is not really your lip at all. The light is coming down and your bottom lip sticks out more against the little indent underneath your lip, and it's casting a shadow on the bottom part of your chin, the top part of your chin, I guess I should say. That second line is the second most important line. It's not really your lip, but it represents the edge of your lip. So thinking of this, it's kind of as if we went and did that. Now, the problem with this though is your lip recedes as it goes back to your face. So to have lines that are dark all the way up here doesn't match either. We have to get rid of those. So it looks kind of like that. Let me draw it for you, then you take a little bit of time and draw it yourself. It should look something like that. Now, Let's do ears next. Your ears begin at the eye level line, right? If you draw your fingers back from your eyes, you'll run into the top where your ears connect to the head. If you draw your fingers back for your nose, you'll also brush up against your earlobes. Your ears are about from the eye level line to the nose line. Making marks on your paper, little mark there, little mark here, little mark here, little mark here. Now, be careful that your person doesn't look like a Muppet. Okay, they're not C's. And although your person's ears will look fairly large now, because you don't have any hair on your person's head, they'll look better after you've added hair. You want your ears to be close to the head and have a natural curve to them. I want you to notice that I'm going to start here and go up because your earlobe, not your earlobes, the top of your ear is above the eye level line, but then your earlobes will kind of connect where your nose is down at the bottom. Notice how it looks kind of like a peanut. Okay? You don't need to draw that, but understand that's kind of the shape. I'm going to do the other one now. It's hard to get them both looking exactly the same. Just do your best. Now, after you've done the ears, we're going to move on to the neck. Okay? Out of all the features that we've worked on so far, the neck can be adjusted the most, right? You've seen pictures of football players where it looks like their necks come out to their ears. That's because their muscles have been strengthened and are larger due to exercises and weightlifting that they're doing to build those muscles. Obviously, that's not natural or normal for all of us. Most of us have a neck that is about 3 eyes wide. So we're going to complete the part where it kind of looks like our person is crying. And from here, we're going to draw lines that kind of go straight down and then curve out a little bit. You're not going to draw the shoulders because your shoulders are 3 heads wide. And you do not have enough room for that on your paper. Something like that. Again, take your time, do it carefully, make it look good. Let's talk about the hair. Going back to that earlier drawing, the drawing where the eyes were in the wrong place, we do now realize that our person needs a forehead, right? We understand that our person has space between their hair, at least their hairline, and their eyes. To accommodate that, we oftentimes move the hair up into the wrong position, right? This here is the top of your head. We all have hair in between the top of our head and this spot, on the top. So we need to draw the hair in a more correct place. It's about halfway between, the hairline is about halfway between the top of the head and the eyes. Now, hair is obviously going to make your person either look more masculine or look more feminine. Okay, that's the nature of hair. I'm going to give you the opportunity to draw whatever hairstyle you want, as long as it follows 3 rules. Okay? Rule number 1, your hair needs to come down to the correct place. And I'd like you to draw an outline of the hair, not a whole lot of individual hairs, okay? We're not shading the person's head. We're not drawing lots and lots and lots and lots of lines. We're just doing an outline. Second, we all have hair in between our eyes and our ears. Even those with long hair who tend to tuck it back behind have hair that grows there. If we don't put hair in between our eyes and our ears, it looks strange. It's not really the style to cut that right now, so that isn't something that we typically see. So we need hair in between our eyes and our ears. Okay, that's rule number 2. The third is that this here is not the top of your hair. It's the top of your skull. We know in shampoo commercials, it talks a lot about volume. Your hair taking up space. That's what volume is. The more volume, the bigger the hair, okay? That might be true for those who have curlier hair or more full hair. If we leave this as being the top edge of our hair, it looks weird as if our person has wet hair or something like that. So our line needs to come out farther than that line. Now, I'm going to draw a hairstyle. You can either copy mine or you can design the hairstyle you want, as long as it has those 3 rules. So the hair has to come down and be an outline, the hair has to come in between the eyes and the ears, and it has to go out farther than the skull. In other words, for one, mohawks do not fit those 3 rules. No mohawks. Okay? Let me draw my hair and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. Notice that my hairstyle follows those 3 rules. It's an outline and it comes down with a little bit of bangs below that line that's, below the halfway point. It comes down in between the ears and the eyes. A little bit of sideburns, don't get carried away. And then it goes out farther than the skull. Now, if you want to have your person have long hair, that's fine. Just don't erase the ears. Try and incorporate the ears into the hairstyle. I want this to be a guide for you. If you erase important things like ears, that won't really be helpful later on. Take your time to do a hairstyle. Obviously, this takes more time than some of the other features that we just went over. Now, you might be thinking, are we going to do eyelashes? Are we going to do eyebrows? We're going to do eyebrows, but we're not going to do eyelashes. Now, I understand everyone has eyelashes. If you were sitting down and talking and drawing someone sitting next to you, and you were trying to capture them realistically, you would want to make sure that you added eyelashes. Since this is very cartoon-like, the weird thing about eyelashes is it also makes your person look a lot more feminine. I think that comes from the idea that Minnie Mouse is just Mickey Mouse with eyelashes and a bow in her hair. Daisy Duck is Donald Duck with just eyelashes and a bow in her hair. We don't see very many male cartoons with eyelashes. I think SpongeBob is kind of one of the exceptions. So we're just not gonna do it because our person already looks a little bit cartoon-like. We are gonna do eyebrows though, because it looks stranger without those. Eyebrows are typically half an eye above where the eyes are. So about here, okay? Someone in another class also mentioned that they typically go out to a little bit farther past the eye in a diagonal way beyond the nose. You don't have to draw this if you don't want to, but obviously eyebrows are longer, get closer together than the eyes, and get farther out than the eyes. For this, we are going to draw individual hairs, because otherwise it looks like someone kind of has drawn a caterpillar on your face. Notice that your hairs tend to stand up the closer the nose they are, and they lie down as they get farther out towards the ears. So when we draw them, you want to kind of imitate that same motion, that same movement, so that it makes sense. Notice again how they start in farther than the nose, in farther than the eye, they end farther out than the eye. That nice diagonal is a good reference point. Now, again, let me reiterate, this is nobody and everybody at the same time. This exercise is simply to help you understand where the general features are located, what the general size of them is, and help you to hopefully in the future put them in the right place so that you don't get something that looks like this. Everyone in here looks different from this person. It's all of those unique features about you, your slightly different sizes and shapes, that make you different from the person sitting next to you, and so forth and so on. We are going to begin to work with more of an individual as we move forward with this unit. So, tonight, and this is due Monday, you have some homework, okay? You're going to receive a slip that looks like this. On it, it says to bring in a printed photograph of a person that you find interesting. Now, I want that person to be someone famous, not your grandmother, not your sibling, not someone, in general that you know. I'd like you to go on to Google Images, type in a person's name. It could be an actor or an actress. It could be an athlete. It could be a politician. It could be any number of individuals. And find a picture of them that shows from the top of their head to the bottom of their chin. This image of this photo of course, now I forget his name, Han Solo, but that's not his real name, is a good example. Okay? Notice, as it says on the paper, the top of the head to the bottom of the chin should be at least 3 inches so that we can see it well enough to be able to draw. Notice how they're kind of looking out at us the same way we drew this. I don't want any profiles. I don't want any 3/4 views. Okay? I don't want any that are cropped really close to the face so that we lose the hair and we lose the chin. Harrison Ford here has all of his hair and goes down below his chin. Now, if you go to print this out at home and you realize you can't get it the right size, you can either send the image to me. If you don't have a printer, that's what you'll want to do as well. Send it to me between now and class on Monday, and I will print it out for you. It doesn't have to be in black and it doesn't have to be in color, but if you can do it in color, that'd be great. We need a color image at some point. If it's printed in black and white, that's fine. We can get a color image later. This is going to be worth 5 points. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but without a lot in the grade book right now, if you don't do this, you'll end up with a U, and that U will sit there for a while. So do this so that because it's an easy 5 points. You don't get any points taken off if it's in black and white, but you do get points taken off if it's the wrong size. It needs to be a person, not a cartoon, not a drawing or a painting, a photograph of a person. So make sure that all of their face is showing. I don't want photos of Batman. If you want to do one of the actors that played Batman, look for a picture of the actor, not a picture with the mask on. It doesn't do us any good. Okay? Like I said, this is due Monday. So Monday will be May 6th. Write that in the due date. It might be helpful to also write this in your agenda. If you have any questions about this assignment, you can email me. I will be available at certain times over the weekend. If you email me a photo, great. If you don't have a printer at home, just send me the photo. If you're working from your phone, send me the photo. I am fine getting photos to print out on Monday. You want to get the points that counts as your 5 points. If there are any questions, like I said, you can email me and I will be able to respond to those. Okay? Have a good weekend. I will see you on Monday.